quiet hills of Greenbrier County, West Virginia, in 1897, a murder unfolded that would soon become one of the most haunting and mysterious cases in American folklore. This story was not just of a crime, but of a spirit who sought justice from beyond the grave, a case that forever immortalized the name of Zona Hester Schue, now remembered as the Greenbrier Ghost. Zona, a young woman in her early 20s, had recently married a man named Erasmus Edward Schue. By all appearances, the couple seemed happy, but just months after their wedding, on January 23rd, 1897, Zona was found dead in her home. A lifeless body was discovered at the foot of the stairs by a young boy sent on an errand. She lay eerily still, her body unnaturally positioned with one arm outstretched, as if frozen mid-movement. Zona's eyes were wide open, and her neck appeared to be oddly angled. Her husband, Edward, displayed extreme grief and was inconsolable. He dressed her body himself, which was unusual, as women in the community traditionally handled such matters. Edward was adamant that Zona be buried in a high-necked dress and scarf, claiming it was her favorite outfit. Throughout the funeral, Edward behaved strangely, hovering over the casket, cradling her head, and becoming unusually defensive when anyone came close. Zona's mother, Mary Jane Hester, was deeply suspicious. She had never trusted Edward and believed that her daughter had not died from natural causes, as the attending physician had initially ruled. Despite the death certificate citing everlasting faint or heart failure, Mary Jane was convinced that something far more sinister had happened. For weeks after Zona's burial, Mary Jane prayed for her daughter to reveal the truth. And then, according to Mary Jane's account, Zona appeared to her in a series of vivid dreams over 4 nights. In these dreams, Zona's ghost described how her husband, Edward, had murdered her. She explained that during a violent argument, he became enraged and strangled her, breaking her neck in the process. The ghost even demonstrated how her neck had been twisted, confirming Mary Jane's darkest suspicions. Determined to seek justice, Mary Jane took her story to the local prosecutor, John Alfred Preston. Though skeptical, Preston ordered an exhumation of Zona's body. Upon examining her remains, the autopsy revealed that Zona's neck had indeed been broken, with clear finger marks around her throat. Her windpipe had been crushed, and the ligaments in her neck were torn, consistent with strangulation. The evidence was enough to charge Edward Schue with murder. During the trial, Mary Jane took the stand, and while the defense tried to discredit her testimony by focusing on her ghostly visions, her account remained steadfast. Despite the unusual nature of her testimony, the forensic evidence was undeniable. The jury found Edward Schue guilty of murder, and he was sentenced to life in prison. He died 3 years later in prison, never confessing to the crime. The story of the Greenbrier Ghost spread quickly, becoming one of the most famous cases in West Virginia's history. It remains the only known instance in American legal history where the testimony of a ghost helped convict a murderer. Zona's spirit, it seems, had returned to seek justice from beyond the grave, and she succeeded. To this day, Zona Hester Schue's grave can be found in Greenbrier County, marked with a headstone that reads, "In memory of Zona Hester Schue." Her death was avenged by her spirit returning and testifying to a neighbor. The tale of the Greenbrier Ghost is a chilling reminder that sometimes even the dead have unfinished business.